Now on CoastTV News.
Cool Spring controversy. A massive mixed-use project has Sussex County split. We'll break down the vision and the concerns. And emergency aid. Governor Meyer declares a state of emergency as SNAP funding faces a lapse. What this means for families and for local food banks.
Coming up, we're taking a look at the gale wind warnings that are active in our area.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Tonight, the latest on this land off of Cool Spring Road and plans to build homes here. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Well, the Sussex Preservation Coalition held a meeting tonight to share information on the proposed development, Cool Spring Crossing. The coalition gave a presentation, also answered some questions, and encouraged people who oppose the development to join them in occupying the County Council meeting on November 4th to say they're opposed.
What Cool Spring does is to ask for a rewrite of the existing comprehensive plan and the future land use map, and we think that should be delayed until more people have the opportunity to weigh in.
Now, supporters of the development say that the workout facility and other amenities that are included will make it a viable next step in Sussex County development. Also, they say the housing included in the plans is needed for the Sussex County workforce. Now we have some more information here on the proposal. It includes plans for more than 1,900 housing units. Those would be spread across 7 villages. Also, it includes a YMCA, some stores, restaurants, even a hotel, also educational facilities and assisted living facilities. Well, SNAP benefits are scheduled to end in just 3 days on November 1st, but the state of Delaware is taking action. Governor Meyer today announced a state of emergency to allow weekly state funding for SNAP recipients in the face of this funding lapse that's caused by the government shutdown. And at the Food Bank of Delaware in Milford, they say they're entering unprecedented times. The food bank says as we approach the holiday season, it's already their busiest time of the year. And now with the government shutdown threatening SNAP, as Emma Aiken reports, the food bank calls it the perfect storm.
Volunteers at the food bank doing what they always do. And while Delaware has committed to funding SNAP on a week-by-week basis, the food bank says that doesn't cover everybody who's in need.
Even with SNAP benefits, people still are making difficult decisions. We meet people who in the winter time they're choosing between paying their utility bill and heating their home or buying a bag of groceries. We meet senior citizens who might be cutting a pill in half because they want to prolong their prescription because they can't afford them.
And the food bank isn't the only place feeling the pinch. Over at the Brandywine Valley SPCA, Laura Page says people are struggling to afford their pets.
We do get a lot of calls for people that are feeling desperate.
Page says over this past month, adoptions are down and calls about the food pantry, which provides free pet food, are up.
They will feed their animals before they feed themselves. And we found that in natural disasters too. I mean, Katrina was the big one that told us people will die for their pets.
As the shutdown stretches on, both families and their pets are feeling the strain with no end in sight for the government shutdown.
And that was Emma Aiken reporting. Now over in Maryland, the state food bank there is preparing to meet the expected surge in need for food assistance. The Maryland Food Bank is planning to purchase $3 million worth of additional food in anticipation of the loss of SNAP benefits on Saturday. More than 55,000 Marylanders on the Eastern Shore rely on SNAP monthly. The local food pantries like Salisbury Urban Ministries say they've already seen more people coming in for help over the past few months.
We just got a delivery a week ago. $2,000 worth of administrative fee is what it cost us to bring in the food, and some of it was donated and some of it was from the emergency food program. You'll walk through there right now and you'll think, when do you get your next delivery? Because it doesn't look like you've got enough. And that's what we're thinking right now. How are we going to manage this?
During previous government shutdowns, Maryland was reimbursed for funding critical programs like SNAP. But in a statement last week, Governor Wes Moore said the Trump administration has provided zero assurance of reimbursement. This does bring us right into our CoastTV poll because we want to know what worries you about the government shutdown. Let's look at the results here. You can see 47% say health insurance, 44% say workers losing paychecks, 5% worried about travel delays, 4% say they're worried about those SNAP benefits. And you can still vote. Just go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. We'd love to know what you think. Now we're going to take a live look outside into Lewis and turn it to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Good evening, Paul.
Right now, we take a look at where we stand in Lewis. We're holding at 58 degrees at this present time. We're going to stay in the upper 50s to low 60s thanks to the cloud cover and the rain that's actually just kind of rolling in our general direction. But it's the winds that's actually in the forefront of our concern. We have 31-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Bethany Beach right now. 33-mile-per-hour wind gusts, Ocean City. Now, we are in at least a moderate threat of severe weather, and that's going down as we speak. But we are still concerned about very blustery winds. Gale wind warning in effect for Lewis Beach, Rehoboth, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, but it's also active for Ocean City all the way down towards Chincoteague. In addition to that, we actually have wind advisories for the inland areas, okay? And then we also are concerned about the possibility of some coastal flooding with advisories and a warning that's in effect in and around the Salisbury area. Coming up, we'll talk more about what to anticipate with the stronger storms expected early tomorrow morning. Thank you, Paul.
Well, the Ocean City Council has asked the county to increase the hotel room tax from 5% to 6%. And Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us how much more that will cost visitors and what people think about the plan.
Anita Abbott spent the night in Ocean City to enjoy the town and check out the cool waves. But when she heard about a possible hotel room tax hike, her excitement quickly turned to concern.
It's a shame that we have to raise taxes. You know, it's a real shame this time. You know, a lot of people are struggling.
The Ocean City Council has asked the Worcester County Commissioners to increase the county's hotel room tax from 5% to 6%. We sat down with Hotel Motel Restaurant Association Director Susan Jones to talk about what that would mean practically. Jones says that 1% change could generate around $5 million for the town.
The amount of money that's generated from room tax really goes a long way to helping fund a lot of those general fund expenses, like the lifeguards and police and fire, EMS. And it also goes to the tourism marketing and advertising and things that are needed by that tourism department.
Jones believes the hike would help the town keep up with rising costs and extended tourism seasons.
Residents are not paying that. It would be the visitors that would be paying that. And it would not be a huge change. It might be $1 a night.
While some believe this could steer people away from the coastal town, Abbott says the small change won't stop vacationers from coming.
I really don't think it's going to make a huge difference for people that are coming in during the summertime. I think they're going to come no matter what and going to pay no matter what.
The Ocean City Council hopes to have the tax increase in place by January 1st, giving hotel and motel operators a chance to have a new room rate in place before summer 2026 season. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Now to Rehoboth Beach. On your screen now, you can see demolition signs up on multiple buildings on Rehoboth Avenue. The Zelkis, Core Bros, and most notably the old Dolly's building. The Rehoboth Beach Communications Manager says the city is meeting with the contractor and developer to finalize a date to soon take down those buildings. This is to make room for the One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel, which will have 4 levels, 60 hotel rooms, and retail space on the first floor. Some people we spoke with about this today say they're sad to see the building go, but others think it's going to be a financial boost.
It's hard for people, I'll be 70 in a couple of years, and to watch all this change is it's crazy.
The city's communication manager telling us tomorrow they will release details surrounding the demolitions and how the boardwalk area could temporarily change. Striped bass regulations were on today's docket for the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission and its annual meeting in Dewey Beach. The commission says Atlantic striped bass were declared overfished in 2019 and restrictions were put in place to restore the population by 2029. But studies showed the population was still struggling after fishing regulations, and there was a proposal to reduce the amount of fish harvested by another 12%. That plan failed, meaning regulations will stay at the status quo for now, which local watermen say is a big win for them.
We're not going to go above and beyond the status quo unless they do something to adjust the baseline, which would give us more days off on the charter industry. Guys are going out of business dropping like flies right now.
Although Newberry, who you just heard from, says Maryland does plan to revisit more regulations in the state, he says local watermen intend to fight that. And the commission's annual meeting continues tomorrow with its final day in Dewey Beach. Also, menhaden fish were also discussed during a meeting yesterday. The commission deciding to cut next year's harvest by 20%, but experts say a 54% reduction is needed to protect the ecosystem. A new report from the commission shows the menhaden numbers in the Atlantic Ocean are 37% lower than scientists thought. The small fish are a key food source for striped bass and ospreys. They even serve as bait for local crabbers. Now, watermen and environmental groups are warning that the population decline could ripple through the Chesapeake Bay's food chain, also the local economy. And we are just getting started. There's still more news ahead. Coming up, Hurricane Melissa not going to make landfall in the U.S., but the impact is still being felt. How people on Delmarva are helping storm victims devastated in Jamaica. And coming up, Paul Williams is in our CoastTV First Alert Weather Center. He has your full forecast after this.
So the winds are picking up momentum, and we are concerned about widespread scattered showers, and there's a chance of some thunderstorms just kind of flaring up in the early morning hours. And so we're going to track all that and give you an update on what's going on with that. Our tunnel and razor camera in Lewis, we're at 58 degrees actually. And then we anticipate staying in the upper 50s to low 60s for the rest of the night. And we're looking for hit and miss spotty showers on and off again throughout the rest of the night. Winds will be our primary concern because that's probably the biggest deal we have right now. 31 mile per hour wind gusts recorded in Georgetown. We have a 37 mile per hour wind gust recorded in Ocean City. Here's where the winds are right now. 29 and Rehoboth, 38 Indian River Inlet, 33 actually Ocean City. Now, by the time we get to 6:30 tomorrow morning, we're looking at 40 to 46 mile per hour winds for the beaches alone. That's a lot, and which is why we're calling for a yellow alert day in the morning time. This is 6:30 in the morning. And then by the time we get to the afternoon, we'll have them shifting out of the south-southeast at 31 miles per hour, but that's just barely underneath the area of concern. We go to Friday and we're back to zonal flow with 40 to 45 mile per hour winds once again. So we have at least another round or two of very vibrant winds. Now, for Friday, which is Halloween, it's going to be a howling wind, literally and figuratively, throughout the rest of the entire day. So we have a wind advisory that's active until 1 o'clock for Thursday. That may be extended and likely to be extended because Friday is going to be very active as well. We have right now gale wind warnings, 45 mile per hour winds for us along the entire coastline. That's a given. We have a coastal flood advisory. We could see some inundation happening to any communities that are next to a large body of water, whether you're inland or along the ocean. And then we have the coastal flood warning, which is active for the folks in Crapo, as well as Linkwood and over towards Madison and Frenchtown at this present time. Overall, this is a general plume of rain that's lifting from the south to the north without isolated cells becoming too active. We're looking at by 2 o'clock in the morning, we see some scattered showers and thunderstorms near Delmar and Salisbury. Then it lifts to the north. Now, this is kind of weird because this is kind of like the rain's moving backwards a bit. And you see, we're looking at the amount of rain. It was at ½ an inch earlier today. Now it's been downgraded to only 1/3 of an inch of rain. So I'm thinking that the showers are going to move through so quickly that you won't be able to really record much in the way of precipitation. And the model runs are showing that this is pushing through, but see these arrows that you see right here indicating fast movement of this storm system as it moves backwards. I do think Seaford's going to catch a little bit more drama than everybody else. Hurricane Melissa, Category 2 right now, already emerging on the other side and getting stronger as we speak. Winds have now gone back up to 100 miles per hour with gusts up to 120, pressure at 970. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Yellow alert day for us for Thursday morning. Very windy and howling winds on Friday. And by the way, we set the clocks back on Saturday.
Thank you, Paul. Well, the big story of the week has been Hurricane Melissa. Tonight, it's crossing through the Bahamas. The storm responsible for at least 30 deaths across the Caribbean, 25 of those people killed in Haiti. Cuba and Jamaica are just starting recovery and restoration efforts, and Sherelle Hubbard has more on the dire situation playing out across the region.
Cleanup and recovery are underway in the Caribbean following Hurricane Melissa. In Jamaica, residents and police seen clearing roads and removing downed trees Wednesday after the storm tore across the island. In the aftermath, communities are left with widespread flooding, debris, and power outages.
Hurricanes and earthquakes is not unusual to Jamaica, but Melissa perhaps has been the greatest one that we have experienced.
Melissa made landfall in Jamaica Tuesday as a Category 5 hurricane. By early Wednesday, the storm weakened to Category 3 strength when it hit Cuba. Video shows rain rushing down flooded streets and into homes in Santiago de Cuba. Cuba's government saying overflowing rivers cut off more than 140,000 people. Officials in Jamaica say residents in areas devastated by the storm are also trapped.
We also need to get food to these areas because a lot of these people are cut off and do need food supplies flown into them.
Many roads impassable. Several ambulances headed for Jamaica's hard-hit west coast got stuck in the mud. The entire country declared a disaster area by the Prime Minister.
Historic buildings, churches, courthouse, the parish council, and all the heritage buildings have been destroyed.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And the U.S. State Department said it was deploying a regional disaster response team, also other resources across the Caribbean countries. Now, people with ties to Jamaica here on Delmarva are hearing similar reports from their family members. Elvis Scott, he's the owner of Caribbean Flava in Salisbury. He has a son and a brother still working in Jamaica, and he says he's not been able to get in contact with them yet.
Let us pray, we get back the country back together, and all the help we can get to bring it back together because that's our paradise,
And Scott says he plans on sending them resources whenever phone services pick back up. Still ahead tonight, some slimming stats. U.S. obesity rates are finally falling, how weight loss drugs are reshaping the numbers.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
In health news tonight, the United States could lose its measles elimination status in the coming months, behind Canada, which already has. There are multiple criteria for losing an official elimination status. That includes the declines in vaccination rates observed in both countries, but the most significant factor is having ongoing measles transmission for a full year, and Canada hit that mark this week. According to the CDC, at least 1,600 measles cases have been reported in the U.S. so far this year. Obesity rates are on the decline thanks to injectable weight loss treatments. A new Gallup poll shows the obesity rate among U.S. adults dropped to 37% this year, and that's down from 39.5% 3 years ago. The survey found that the number of Americans taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy more than doubled over the past year and a half. The results were based on data from 3 national surveys of nearly 17,000 U.S. adults. Today is World Stroke Day. 15 million people around the globe suffer a stroke every year. That's according to the World Health Organization. And of those, around 5 million people die, and another 5 million are left permanently disabled. But a new surgery is providing hope to some patients. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how a brain implant is helping a stroke survivor regain his strength and his hope.
On Christmas Day 2023, Tommy Fellow was driving home from work when his car started veering off to the left.
I thought I just had low air and my tires were getting a flat tire, but then when I got home and tried to get out of the car, I realized that something was definitely wrong.
His family checked for signs of a stroke and then called an ambulance.
Thank goodness we did because they took me to the hospital and I was able to get the clot busting drug within the 4 hours.
Fellow's stroke left him with no movement in his left arm or left leg, as well as numbness in his face and a heaviness in his chest. And those symptoms have stayed with him since the stroke. But that's not unusual for stroke patients, says Dr. Mark Bain.
Typically, the only real option is to undergo intensive rehab to get better. But usually at some point, that rehab will plateau and patients don't see any improvement.
The Cleveland Clinic is one of only a few sites in the U.S. pairing physical therapy with an FDA-approved brain implant surgery to help stroke survivors improve function through vagal nerve stimulation.
In our experience so far, we've implanted about 10 of these vagal nerve stimulators, and almost all of the patients have had improvement.
Months after Bain performed that surgery on Fellow, this stroke survivor says he's seeing progress every day.
Whenever I'm feeling down, I just look at where I came from and how far we've come. We have a long way to go, but that's how I keep myself encouraged.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
Coming up in sports tonight, two Philadelphia stars were teammates, but now they'll battle it out on opposing sides, and DSN has the preview of the MEAC contest going down tomorrow night. And coming up, the countdown is on for the Winter Olympics, now just 100 days away. We'll hear from some American athletes after the break.
We salute Chief Keith Banks for his outstanding leadership and steadfast dedication to the Rehoboth Beach community. Under his calm guidance and strong sense of duty, the city continues to thrive in safety and unity. His commitment to excellence and service sets the standard for all who wear the badge. We honor Chief Banks for leading with integrity, compassion, and pride, keeping Rehoboth Beach a place we're all proud to call home.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Well, the countdown is on. We're now just 100 days away from the 2026 Winter Olympics. Some of the greatest athletes in the world looking for gold in the Italian Alps and the rinks and arenas and stadiums of Milan and Cortina. And as NBC's Jay Gray shows us, this week dozens of American Olympic hopefuls are at the Olympic Media Summit in New York, sharing their dreams of making the team and bringing home the gold.
The quiet in Milan, the calm of Cortina will, in just 100 days, give way to the crowds and chaos of the 2026 Olympics.
To know that we're 100 days away from it is incredibly exciting. It's a great moment.
These Winter Games wide open after COVID restrictions locked down Beijing 4 years ago.
I feel like Milan will be a completely different experience and kind of feel like a first Olympics in a way.
Finishing touches underway on venues across the region. Italian organizers say everything will be finished on time, including the toboggan and bobsled runs, which Olympic officials, worried about the track's delayed construction close to a year ago, had threatened to move to another country. This week, 60 or so Olympic hopefuls gathering for a media summit in New York with hopes of representing Team USA in Italy.
It means everything to me.
For Lindsey Vonn, the woman widely considered the greatest American skier of all time, the mountains of Cortina represent another shot at history.
I'm really excited.
Coming out of retirement after knee replacement surgery, the 41-year-old says she won't be content with just making the team.
I have a lot of work to do still, and I always try to focus on the work, but I'm a pretty competitive person, and I have high expectations of myself.
Vonn and the rest of America's hopefuls already thinking about the medal stand in Milan. Jay Gray, NBC News, New York.
A week after the NCAA approved a new rule to allow student athletes to bet on professional sports, the rule change has now been delayed. It was supposed to go into effect Saturday, but SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey asked the Division I Board of Directors for a reversal, saying the sports betting change, quote, represents a major step in the wrong direction. And so in response, the board voted to delay the rule change until November 22nd. In local sports, we had the chance to hear from Stephen A. Smith on the importance of the Delaware State versus Norfolk game tomorrow night. DSN's Kayla Santiago has more.
Delaware State University gets ready to take on Norfolk State tomorrow in a MEAC showdown. Not only will it be a conference battle, but DSU head coach Deshaun Jackson will be coaching against his former teammate, Michael Vick. And they will go back to their old stomping grounds at Lincoln Financial Field. In Philadelphia, this was a dynamic quarterback-wide receiver duo. This time around, they will be looking to lead their squads to victory. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith talks about what this game means for HBCU programs.
They're incredibly important to me and near and dear to my heart. And any time that you can elevate the level of notoriety that HBCUs receive, it's something that works for the collective whole. That's really what it's all about. So when I think about what they're doing and what they're striving to do, anytime we're able to bring attention to those experiences to let folks know there is light at the end of the tunnel, there is hope, there is support, there is teamwork, there is a system in place that wants to help uplift you and propel you to new heights, I think that's something that benefits us all as a society. It certainly benefits the Black community, and it definitely benefits HBCUs, and that's what it's all about.
Kickoff tomorrow night at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia at 7 p.m. Make sure to follow us on social media at Delmarva Sports, as we will be there and have all the updates. Reporting from Dover, Delaware for the Delmarva Sports Network, I'm Kayla Santiago.
Right now, we're continuing to track scattered showers moving from the south to the north right now. We have a couple of things to keep in mind. We have very gusty winds. We have gale wind warnings in effect, watching out for 40-mile-per-hour winds, as well as inland areas. And we're concerned about coastal flooding and warnings that are active for our area. Michael of Milton, congratulations. You're our umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis. And keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
I forgot that time change was happening.
Oh yeah, we gotta fall back. Look, after we get rid of the rain, then we gotta get rid of Halloween. Then we gotta go ahead and fall back. But another hour of sleep.
So true.
Right.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News tonight. You can always find more news. Just download our Coast TV News app. Tonight's show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.
Sleep.